Alright guys, we're going to do a real quick video on 2.5 absolute value equations. Before we get into the absolute value equations, just have a quick review for you. We did talk about this before when we added or subtracted integers. Absolute value, this is where you have these bars around a number. Absolute value is the distance from a number to 0 on the real number line. So two numbers I picked here are 4 and negative 4. Well, if I take the absolute value of 4, this equals 4. Right? If I'm right here on the real number line, it's 4 units from 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now likewise, if I pick negative 4, the absolute value of negative 4 is still 4. The reason is because I'm dealing with distance. So negative 4 is right here. It's still 1, 2, I missed a unit there. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4 units from 0. So when you take absolute value of a number, it's always positive because you're dealing with distance. Okay? So there's two ways I could represent this 4 with absolute value. Absolute value of 4 and absolute value of negative 4 still gives you 4. Now I'm going to lead that into right here. We have Roman numeral 1, absolute value equations. I'll make this a little bit bigger here. There's 3 cases that we're going to go over. And the first case we kind of just did. So if you just have this x in the absolute value bar, well, what's inside it could be the positive of it, so it's x equals 4, or you could take the negative of it, x equals negative 4. We just proved that. If you put it back in an equation, the absolute value of 4 is 4, and the absolute value of negative 4 is 4. So most cases, you're going to see this case the most. Most cases, when you solve an absolute value equation, you get 2 answers. Now the other 2 cases, I'm going to have for number 2 and number 3, you'll see this every now and then. Okay, if I move this over, number 2, well, if you have the absolute value of x equals 0, well, that means you're not moving anywhere from the origin or from 0 on the real number line. The only answer to this is 0. You can't say negative 0. That just means 0. The other case right here is if you have an absolute value completely by itself, which is their absolute value of x, it can never equal negative. This answer here for number 3 is no solution. Now remember, it can't equal negative because absolute value deals with distance. You never ever say you traveled a negative distance. So like I said, most cases you get 2 answers. Every now and then you'll see those special cases where you get 1 answer if the absolute value is set equal to 0, or you get no solution if the absolute value is set equal to a negative. Alright, okay, I'm just going to do 4 and 5 and that'll be it. Now 4 and 5, I don't just have x in the absolute value. So I'm going to set up the 2 equations. The first equation we're going to set up is just x plus 5 equals 17. You just get rid of the absolute value bars. Now we're going to get 2 solutions because this is set equal to a positive. Now the next answer, you leave the x plus 5 the same. Always leave the expression inside the absolute value bars the same. But now I can take this 17, I'm going to set it equal to negative 17. Because if I can get the inside equal negative 17, when you take the absolute value of it, it gives you 17. So you have those 2 equations set up, then you just got easy one-step equations for each. So I know I'm going to subtract 5 from each side. So 17 minus 5 is 12. So that's one answer. And then when I solve the second equation, I do the same thing. I subtract 5. And then negative 17 minus 5 gives us negative 22. So these are the 2 answers right there. Okay, if I put the 12 and negative 22 in, I'm going to get either 17 or negative 17 in the absolute value bars. When you take the absolute value of it, it gives you this 17. Okay, last one I'll do is a real quick one. Number 5, there really should be no thinking. We have this absolute value bar by itself, and it's set equal to a negative. So I'm not even going to set up the equations. When I take the absolute value of this, it can never equal negative. So therefore my answer is no solution. It's one of those special cases there. Alright, so main thing, absolute value equations. Most cases you get 2 answers. Every now and then you'll get this special case where it's set equal to a 0 and you get a negative. The other case where you get 1 answer is when it's set equal to 0.